Welcome back to the channel. We're Nick and Sarah, and after several years exploring Europe in our camper van, we decided it's about time we got our butts up to Scotland. And over the last 6 weeks, we've been completely blown away. We've explored some of the best lochs in the Highlands, been on some incredible hikes, checked out some amazing waterfalls, and been completely overwhelmed by Scotland's beauty. But what adventure wouldn't be complete without a little disaster? Thanks for that storm, Ashley. Join us today as we attempt to repair the damage and pray the van isn't a write-off. With only a week left in the UK, we need our home on wheels to be safe and ready for the long journey back to Southern Europe.
Welcome to Sarah's breakfast time.
Timing is everything, isn't it? Timing is everything when you're kind of limited. And our air fryer went kaput and stopped working. So annoying. Like yesterday, was it?
Gutted.
Just give me a minute. Sorry, folks. You know it's going to be a good vlog when it starts with food.
Good morning, guys.
Morning.
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 Afternoon.
Welcome back to Edinburgh.
The outskirts of Edinburgh.
Yeah, we're about, what are we, 10
7
miles?
miles outside, I think.
Yeah.
10 kilometres. We're still on the campsite where we left you in the last vlog.
Yes, we are. And Nick's just had lovely breakfast of apple and something sausages and black pudding. Did you know that you can get plant-based black pudding? I was shocked.
Tastes just as good as the real stuff.
It's actually really good. Anyway, carry on.
Anyway, why are we here, you're probably wondering. We left you a bit confused in last week's vlog. We said we came here to fix the van. Well, there's a funny story about that, actually.
So basically, when we first got to the UK and we were in Chester, we met some people that follow us, Phil and Gemma, and Phil actually offered to do a service on the van. He's like, I want to have a look over your van. He's a mechanic. It was a little bit of a difficult time, as you know, when we first got here, and there was a lot going on. So we said, oh, that's very nice of you, and that'll be great, but maybe a little bit, you know, down the line or whatever. So we kept his card, and
then he lost his card.
We lost his
and
card.
Then we found it, and then we lost it.
Anyway, all of that happened, the disaster with the door and stuff, and we thought, let's give Phil a ring. You never know.
He could have been anywhere. He could have been literally anywhere in London, down in Cornwall, anywhere in the country. Phone him up and said, we're in Scotland. He said, we're in Scotland. I'm like, is there an echo? You can't be in Scotland. He said, we're in Edinburgh. We were like, what? How crazy is that?
Yeah, so that's the reason why we're on this campsite and we came to Edinburgh. He offered to help us out.
Yes, so we arrived here a few days ago. Phil came over straight away to have a look at the door issue, the little issue with the door. He had a look at it and he's like, yeah, the arm's going to be broken, the support arm, which we knew because we shined a torch through the gap, you can see it cracked. Yeah. And then he's like, both hinges are going to be bent. So the first mission was to try and find the parts.
Hinges from the front right door you would only get from Fiat.
Only from Fiat?
Yeah, none of people like us bankers would do that at all. It would just be a main dealer part.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
Sorry.
Cheers.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye.
Well, there we go then.
There you go, only from Fiat. He's saying we could try AutoDoc and online delivery.
Well, it's only taken 10 phone calls for someone to give you the right answer. We managed to order the parts directly from Fiat in Edinburgh, but they did say it's going to take 2 days to arrive.
Yes, couldn't get it any sooner. So in the meantime, Phil went to work on the van. So he changed all the filters, oil, air, fuel, all that sort of stuff, and then he ran his diagnostics tool, his magic diagnostics computer, and did a check on the whole van for that. No major issues, a couple of minor ones which we can sort out at a later date, and then he gave the van a proper check over. He checked everything, didn't he? The brakes, suspension, everything underneath, just had a good look around. Yeah. And all good.
We're all good. The van is all good. So that was obviously a big relief. We haven't had a service since we got the van at all, so it's good to have a professional look it over and say, yep, You're all right. And now Phil very kindly has given us the information we need so we can just do a service ourselves in the future, because obviously services aren't that hard to do on your own vehicle, but you do need to know where things are when you're not used to the van, if you like.
Yes.
So yeah, it's really good. Anyway, the parts did arrive yesterday morning.
Please, 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 parts God, may they be right.
Everything's like the opposite way round. So we're just like, it's the right hand side door. It's definitely the right hand side door, yeah? Double check like 3 times with the guy. So fingers crossed. And fingers crossed, these parts are all what's going to be wrong with the van door. This was the only place that we could have got these parts from after phoning around like every auto parts in the whole of Edinburgh. But they are official original Fiat parts, so that's good. Let's just hope this is where we've got to collect them from.
We've got the parts, we've just checked and they look the right parts.
£230.
Hoping, like what Phil said, that the hinges, just most of the weight goes on just this simple little pin, so we're hoping they're designed so that breaks, the hinge bends or breaks rather than
The actual
bodywork, like the...
As in, rather than this here is ripped out and bent. Keep your fingers crossed.
Because then the van could be a write-off.
Really? So I was pooping my pants yesterday afternoon since Nick told me that there could be like, well, we kind of knew that there could be other issues, that it might not have just been the hinge and the other bits and bobs to change, because Phil did say, well, there is a danger of, you know, it could be worse. So I was actually quite nervous, and it was a nervous few hours wait for Phil to finish work and get back, because we didn't want to like start opening the door and trying to do it ourselves. We thought we'll just wait for Phil to get back and then we'll just face whatever happens. Thankfully, when he opened the door, we were just like that. Oh, it looks all right. It doesn't look bent. So the hinges were bent, and this bit in the middle is completely snapped, which is what we knew. So now we have top new hinge, bottom new hinge, and new whatever you call that strap, is it? We do have to replace this little piece here, which is the trim by the mirror. So we can either replace that or just glue that back on, but we're just glad that it was, you know, a relatively straightforward fix. We've got a little bit of damage here. You can see we actually got some touch-up paint when we were in town picking up the parts, so we're just going to sort that out.
But yeah, Phil and his very lovely wife Gemma are absolute legends. I mean, he was at work all day and he came back from work early, so we had a little bit of daylight and then got to work on it.
Yeah, it was actually like a 4-man job, wasn't it?
Definitely, yeah.
Because you have to kind of hold the door and get it into position before you can tighten the new hinges back up and things like that. So it was good to have like all 4 of us actually getting the door back on. So.
And he works so quickly. He said if there's no hitches, it'll take half an hour. Obviously, we had to take all the panelling off because of the way the arm attaches to the van. It's not simply bolted on, there's a connection on the inside, so we had to remove all that, which was a little bit of hassle.
Yeah.
But lining up, because obviously the brackets have got to be spot on. If they're a slight millimetre or a couple of millimetres out, then they're going to be a lot more out where the door closes, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And he just put it on and pretty much straight away shut.
Tiny bit of adjustment, and that was it. Like we said, it's great because he's done the service on the van and given us a really good peace of mind as we had, you know, on the long journey home type thing. And we'll introduce you to Phil a little bit later on. He's not back from work yet, but I'm sure he'd like to say hello and yeah. So we're really quite happy.
Very, very happy. Just a little bit of damage, and it's a lesson learned. It could have happened somewhere a lot worse, a lot more remote.
Yeah.
And without a Phil just round the corner.
Exactly. Right, folks, we are going to go and say hello to Phil, because I think he's back from work now. It's dark, isn't it? Since the clocks went back, it's just dark at 5 o'clock. So Phil and Gemma are obviously staying on this campsite in their amazing rig. They basically live in like a lorry, and it's just so cool. It's perfect for full-time van life, and it's like a little luxury apartment inside. Honestly, they've got the most amazing bathroom, lovely kitchen. It's just really, really nice, and I think they've been living in that for about 2 years now. They sold their house here and just moved into the van, the lorry, and yeah.
So this is a huge rig.
Really beautiful. Right.
Oh, make sure he's got clothes on.
How are you doing?
Good, good. You all right?
Hi, Nick.
Yeah, man, how's it going?
Welcome to my humble abode.
Look at this place. Look how comfortable is this. Should we sit down here in the lounge?
Yeah.
Feels like a blooming interview, this does, doesn't it? So this is Phil, the one half of Roammech.
Roammech, that's right. We live full time in our converted DAF truck. We travel the country, normally staying about 6 to 12 weeks in different areas, and we offer mechanical services. So we do servicing, diesel heaters, repairs, maintenance, pre-MOTs, that sort of thing. We don't travel to customers because of the size of the vehicle. The logistics are really hard, so we tend to stop off in different areas and customers come to us. But yeah, we met in Chester a couple of months ago.
And they carry all these bunnies around with them. They go to a campsite, let their bunnies out, run free. There's loads of bunnies in Chester, and they brought them all to Edinburgh.
When we were in Chester, I offered to service your van.
Yeah.
The van's all good, we've serviced it, and she's ready to go on your next adventure.
If you're ever in Portugal and you want to work on Vinny, fix that bloody caliper.
Sure, well, I might end up coming out there and spending a bit of time doing that.
Someone wants to sort of learn a bit about their van.
Oh, absolutely. They can watch me service their van. I will talk them through it, tell them what tools they will need, what service items they would need, and then going forward they can learn from that and actually do it themselves. Wife, Gemma, she orders all the parts and stuff like that, so she'll always be there to help do that. There's nothing to hide here. We're not out to make $1 million. We just want to service and help the van life community.
So yeah, hopefully we'll meet again. Maybe when you're on
When you do another service?
Yeah, I'll be back here. No, we'll do it. We'll handle the next service ourselves, or we'll do a little video call with you.
Yeah, and I'll run you through it.
Cool. Well, thanks again, Phil.
Thank you, guys.
And yeah, I think we'll best go back to the dogs before they break out the van and chase the bunnies. Morning guys, and we've woken up feeling positive and good today thanks to Phil the legend and his lovely wife Gemma.
Such a good feeling knowing that the van's all right, and well, you know, touch wood. So if any of you guys are thinking about getting your van serviced or anything like that and you're in the Edinburgh area, Phil will be here for the next, probably up until Christmas, maybe longer. So just give those guys a call. We'll leave their details in the description.
Anyway, we've been on the outskirts of Edinburgh for nearly a week now, so it's about time we went into the city.
Yeah, because we're leaving Scotland tomorrow. Can you believe it? It's quite crazy. How long have we been here? 6 weeks, is it?
6 weeks, seemed like longer.
Yeah,
It's been an adventure.
Yeah, so we're going to get the train into Edinburgh very shortly, which is kind of exciting. But first, I think we need to
address the little elephant in the room, that little thing behind us who's keeping a keen eye on the van. Now, I know we're staying at a campsite and the van's probably secure, but you never can be too careful, can you?
This amazing bit of kit is the Roammech Atlas PT Ultra, and it is an absolute beast of a security camera. Roammech have sponsored our video today, and we have our house and our van already secured with Roammech. We already have 2 cameras in the van, which is this one here and the one over there, but this just takes it to the next level. This could just be a standalone camera to protect the whole area, like it completely does the whole van. It would do a whole garden or a whole 5,500 metre square piece of land.
There's no blind spot. It can move up, down, left, right, rotating 360. It's incredible, and it's 4K. 4K filming up to 15 frames per second and colour night vision. Your motion sensor, you can change the sensitivity of it. You can have auto tracking, so it will literally follow a person, car, vehicle, pet, and it will just continually track them wherever they go. But the most amazing thing, battery life,
is up to 500 days. You could last a whole year with the battery life on that. I mean, how is that even possible?
That's amazing. So basically, whatever you need, whatever space you want to secure, Reolink have got it covered. At the moment, this is just propped up, not very securely. Reolink don't provide this little bit of wood. They provide you with this nice, neat little bracket. So you just screw this in, and then that just slots in place. So it couldn't be easier to set up. And the app is also really easy to use, really easy to navigate around, to change all the settings. And what's great about Reolink is you can have all the cameras on the screen at the same time, so you can be watching everything live. So we can watch our house, the van, and the land all live at the same time. Now, if you want to bag yourself one of these or one of the other cameras that Reolink offer, they're offering fantastic deals at the moment. So click the link in our description for more information and get yourself secure. Yourself secure, get everything around you secure.
Right, get the cameras on, get the doggies ready, and let's go into the city.
You're not going in like that, are you, darling?
Once we're dressed.
Morning, guys.
Good morning. It's been a couple of days since we picked up the camera, hasn't it, darling?
It has. Where were we when we last filmed?
We were in Edinburgh. Now, we didn't do like a normal sort of city tour that we do where we walk around and talk about things and find out all of the history and share all of that. To be honest with you, it was good. Edinburgh is an amazing city, but it was a little bit difficult because it was so busy. As soon as we stepped off the train in the central area, it was like sardines in a tin, and we had the dogs with us, so it was very difficult to kind of manoeuvre around.
It's like you're in a permanent queue for like a ride at a theme park.
It
You
was
just
the
queue
old
in, the
town.
dogs again. Well, Charlie actually got kicked by a man.
Charlie got kicked in the
accidentally.
bottom, so it was a little bit tricky, but we did have a nice time. And
It's just a bit weird after being in the Highlands for so long where you don't see that many people, and then you go to the capital of the country and it's just busy and hectic. So yeah, we went to see most of the sites. Yeah, as I said, we wanted more relaxed, didn't we? We didn't want to find out all the history. We just wanted to not film as much and just sort of have a little wander around. But we didn't do King Arthur's Seat. Bit of a mission getting up there. I think it's only like a 2-hour round trip, but it's very windy. We did go to the Mound, which is like, I think, an artificial hill they created from the rubble left over from building the new town. It kind of separates the old and the new town. There's some museums and some cool buildings up there.
lots
And from
of
there,
monuments up there.
it was very windy up there, but you get a nice view of the city, and then you get a view across to King Arthur's Seat. So
Yeah, and then we did the Royal Mail. Royal Mail. The Royal Mile.
did a tour of the Royal Mail building. Very exciting.
But that's really nice, all the architecture and
that's like a pedestrianised street, so
Yeah.
that's a bit nicer to wander around, and the buildings there, and that leads
onto the castle, Edinburgh Castle at the end. You couldn't go in the castle, it was fully booked, and we overheard people saying that it's really quite hard to get in there. It gets booked out each day really early, so it just shows you how popular Edinburgh is.
Royal Mile's the main sort of thing, and it's up on a ridge, so you get nice views, and and you get all the bagpipers playing and like mime artists and that. And then we did sort of walk down. There's a big park which I remember going to years ago, and then that's got nice views up to the castle, sort of set on the cliff, so you get a nice dramatic view from down the bottom. But yeah, it was nice to have a wander around, and we did have some haggis.
Yes, we had some haggis. We had vegan haggis in like a proper little haggis. It was called the haggis box.
The haggis box, yeah.
So that was quite nice.
Haggis, neeps and tatties.
Haggis, neeps and tatties.
It's fun going into Edinburgh on the train, and that's why the campsite we stayed at was quite handy, because it's only like 10-15 minutes walk to the train station. Then you went over the viaduct, looked down onto the campsite, so it was nice to go on the train on the viaduct that we've been looking at for pretty much last week. If you're in Edinburgh, it's quite handy because it's easy access for the city. It was only like £30 a night.
£30 a night, which includes your electricity, so not bad. Clean facilities, really nice loos, hot showers.
Yeah, and it had laundry, so you can do your laundry on site, laundry and dryer, which is
always handy.
Always handy, so we did a couple of loads there. And then it had a little kitchen area where the laundry was, which had a microwave, toaster, toasted sandwich maker, air fryer, which is good because ours broke.
Yeah, I think I said earlier on in the vlog.
Anyway, where are we now?
Well, we've actually left the campsite in Edinburgh.
We've left Edinburgh.
We've left the country, and we're back in England.
Yeah, we're back in Chester on the little bunny farm we stayed at back in August. Oh, sounds like there's a bunny out there now.
So the last couple of days we've been spending some time with family here, and we're actually leaving today. We haven't got long left now in the UK.
No, and it's grey. The forecast now is grey. That weather that I don't like, my worst weather. Well, apart from wind, obviously.
Oh gosh, yeah. So this is a great little campsite, as we mentioned back in August when we stayed here. Heathfield Caravan Park, just on the outskirts of Chester, so a good place to kind of cycle into Chester and explore the city from here. And it's only £13 a night, no electric hookup, so it's just basically for parking, and you can fill up your water, and there is a loo that you can use. But we like it.
A couple of pubs, walking distance as well.
Yeah,
really nice
we
pubs,
like it. It's just nice and kind of chilled, yeah.
Relax, yeah.
Can you believe that we started this vlog in Edinburgh and now we're in Much Wenlock?
Much Wenlock. Have you heard of it? We've driven past here so many times going between North Wales and Sarah's family and my family in the Midlands. A famous little village. This inspired the modern 19th century Olympics. Can you believe this tiny little village of 3,000 inhabitants in Shropshire inspired the modern Olympics? Dr. William Pennybrooks in 1850 thought it'd be a good idea for the inhabitants of the local area to complete a little mini Olympics inspired by the ancient Greeks one, just to boost their morale and health benefits and all that sort of thing. So they started a little mini Olympics, and then lots of people came from miles around, even as far as London, and then that sort of progressed to inspire the modern day Olympics, which is crazy, isn't it?
Which were inspired by the original Olympics.
Obviously the Greeks did it first, didn't they? The Greeks did it first, and then this little village took it upon them to help their local inhabitants, and then that led on to the world famous, Olympics that goes on.
But originally it was from Athens.
Oh, originally it's from Athens.
I don't get it then. I don't know what we filmed over the last couple of days. I'll be completely honest with you. It's been like kind of an emotional few days. So since we've been away travelling in Scotland, it's been a really good distraction to keep busy and filming and just travelling and enjoying all the beautiful scenery. So I think over this last weekend of coming back down to the area of Chester and North Wales and seeing family and things like that, it's just kind of like, it's just been really quite emotional these last couple of days. So apologies if the filming has been I don't know, a bit sparse or whatever. Anyway, yes, so from Edinburgh to Much Wenlock, and we're going to have a look around this pretty little village now. Before we head on back towards Nick's folks, and quite a good park up. This car park, you're allowed to park your motorhome or camper van in here. It's free overnight from 6 p.m. till 8 a.m. and then there's a small charge during the day. I think it's something like 60p an hour.
And there's toilets, 20p toilets, really clean as well.
Yeah, and really peaceful night's sleep. So shall we go into town, my darling?
Into the village.
Into
Or
the
town.
It's a village,
town.
is it? I feel like I'm wearing so many layers. I should just put our big jackets on, but they're like stowed away. And it's pretty cold today. It's that weather where it's like just completely overcast and grey and you don't know what time of the day it is. It's been like this for a couple of days actually. It sort of feels like you've got a cloud in your head and you can't it feels claustrophobic, doesn't it? Come on, little one. He's been shivering. And I'll apologise for Nick's hat as well. It's not that time of year yet, darling.
It's November, you can start wearing your Christmas hat. It's not even a Christmas hat, it just happens to be red and white. If I was wearing the beard, granted I'd look like Santa Claus. Anyway, let's have a little walk around this very, very pretty little village town. Reminds me for some reason of the Cotswolds, all these beautiful old stone cottages and stuff. It's got the famous Much Wenlock Abbey, Priory, a few little churches.
Half timber houses, whole timber houses actually.
I think they're all half.
Oh,
well, that's say two-thirds.
Yeah. How pretty are they though? The building round there, that house round there. Oh, that's just amazing. I haven't seen one like that before.
Shropshire's got a lot to offer.
I think Shropshire's amazing. We've spent quite a lot of time in Shropshire because it's not that far from your folks, is it?
Yeah.
So we've explored it a lot, the Shropshire Hills, all around Church Stretton, all up that way. Yeah. It's closed. Typical. I think it's closed for the winter now.
I think it closed on the 3rd of November. Wenlock Priory dates back to the 13th century. Would be worth going in to have a look. It looks really nice actually, old ruined priory.
Nice gardens.
Beautiful grounds, £10.50 to get in normally.
Is it part of the National Trust?
Yes, it is part of the National Trust.
Now there's Wenlock Edge as well, isn't there? Is that like a cliff or something?
That's a cliff that's stretching from right in the Shropshire Hills as far as here. Look at this lovely building.
This is the Guildhall, that your dad recommended, but unfortunately it's closed.
Which is old courtrooms.
And I just read this. Welcome to Much Wenlock, the historic market town that inspired the modern Olympic movement.
Look at that, Georgian Dragon. There's about 4 pubs in this little village. Loads of little boutique shops. Quite a few cafes, bookshops, sweet shops, traditional old school sweet shop.
Here's the library.
Library, everything you could possibly want.
That's the tour of Little Much Wenlock, very beautiful. Do you know what, I'm so tired, I don't even know if I can finish the vlog right now. So I think we'll just have to drive. I'll have a sleep and then we'll have to finish the vlog later.
All right.
You will arrive at your destination at 15:59.